when one gains expertise, naturally one can act faster. I think that's just part of expertise, that once you have the taste, you can do it.
Yep.
But it seems like yours is whole charged to a whole nother level. So how did you think about building your competitive advantage of speed? That's different than just, hey, I just do it a lot. Or maybe that's it. I just force myself to do it. I set a timer and do it over time.
I mean, like anything in life, practice makes perfect. So the more you do it, the better you get. But I've thought a lot. I'm really obsessed with mastery, the concept of picking something and mastering it. And I was doing that as a teenager, as a pro gamer. I went through a phase of bodybuilding. I was a bodybuilder for 6 years, and I don't think it's fair for me to say that I truly mastered that, because it's not like I was a pro bodybuilder, but like I was doing it. I was eating 6 meals a day, and I was putting on crazy weight, and I was, I was in that. And all of my friends were competitive bodybuilders or power lifters or stuff like that. And so what I've noticed in all of these different chapters is there's these different life cycles you go through. The first is you're learning the rules of the game. You step in, you don't really have skill. And if you do, it's luck. You don't really know what you're doing. And your primary goal, which is basically where I'm at now with books, is like, what are the rules? How do I play this? What are my boundaries here? The second phase is, once you learn the rules of the game, you have to start applying them for yourself. You have to be actively practicing so that you can start to figure out where you need to improve on your own, and kind of become aware of what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses, etc. Like, I can already see one of my weaknesses with doing all this book publishing on my own is I am so disorganized. Like, files and versions and all this stuff, like, it's driving me nuts. So I'm at a certain point, I either need to get my shit together or I need to hire someone for this down the road. Like, I already know that.
Yeah.
Then the reason why you have to go about it yourself is because no one wants to mentor or help someone who isn't already moving on their own. I've seen this with everything, right? Like, everything. So for me, I'm like, I'm going to be the hardest worker in the room. I'm going to set my own pace. That's great. The third phase is you've set your own pace. You're moving, you're doing it. You're naturally going to attract other people who know more than you or know different things than you. And you're going to spend time with them, and you're going to soak up their knowledge. And that's how you then start to really accelerate your learning. And I've already done that in ways, like Craig and Craig Clemens, one of the best copywriters in the world. Like, we just naturally met in LA and hit it off and became great friends. And he's given me tons of feedback and insight into how to think about writing. And I like to think that every once in a while I have something smart to say too. But he's brilliant, and I've learned a lot from him, and I consider him a mentor as much as a friend. You naturally attract people like that.
Right.
And then fourth step and fourth phase being, once you start to then have all these things, then it's just a matter of consistency. It's your flywheel. I'm learning from other people. I'm integrating it. I'm doing a project. I learn, repeat. Integrating from other people, learning, did a project, repeat.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, in a way, what I hear you saying, because I teach on learning how to learn. I study it, and speed is a competitive advantage, but it's almost like the result of you understanding mastery and learning how to learn, that you then get this speed, and you have a really good system. You have the mindsets around, what it takes to become a master. Because most people, once they actually learn how much time it requires, then
they're like, I don't want to do this. Yeah.
But it's almost like when you hear how much work it takes, you're like, all right, I know I can outwork everyone, and people are going to fall off, and I'll keep going.
Yeah, it's totally, man. Like, I still do this, like when I wanted a reward in the World of Warcraft when I was a teenager, it's like I'd order some Chinese food and plant myself down in my computer chair, and I wouldn't get up for 20 hours. I'd be like, I'm going to sit here and grind this out. And so whenever I'm confronted with something, I think about that a lot. And I think, like, if this was a video game, what would I do? I'd order some Chinese. Wow. I'd order some Chinese food and I'd post up and I'd get it done,